Hours before your legendary voyage began, dozens of trucks were waiting at the pier to stock the provisions required for this cruise. It is simply astounding how the provisions required for your cruise are purchased, brought aboard, stored, and then distributed throughout the ship during the cruise. As an example of the magnitude of this task, over 700 pounds of live lobster are flown to each ship every 3 weeks, regardless of the ship's location. It all begins with the purchasing agent, whose job it is to locate, purchase, and arrange delivery of enough food to feed the world's most discriminating palates. Provisions are usually taken on at Royal Viking Line's major ports such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, Fort Lauderdale, New York, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, Southampton, and Venice. For a 2-week voyage, an average of 350 pallets weighing about 150,000 pounds are flown in and trucked to the ship by local suppliers. The value of the provisions for an average cruise can run as high as $500,000. At dockside, everything is inspected for freshness and quality. Everything is brought aboard on A deck under the watchful supervision of the provisions master. The provisions are then carefully stowed in designated storage areas and rooms. The ship has over 100,000 square feet of storage facilities consisting of 25 different rooms. They are all temperature controlled to keep the various categories of food products at their best for use during the cruise. Daily, the different galley departments submit requisition forms for the supplies they need to the provisions master. The orders are then filled out by the provision staff and delivered to the galley departments 3 times a day. To ensure sufficient provisions throughout the cruise, inventory control is done daily by the provisions master and by the hotel department. 10 days prior to the end of the cruise, the provisions master meets with the chef de cuisine and the chief steward. Together, they prepare their provision requirements for the next cruise. The amount of provisions needed to support 1,150 people throughout a typical cruise is astonishing. During these 2 weeks, the average amount of food consumed is 3,028 pounds of fish, 5,760 pounds of beef, 8,800 pounds of other meats such as chicken, veal, and lamb, 800 gallons of milk, 500 gallons of ice cream, 1,600 pounds of cheese, 36,000 eggs, 16,500 pounds of vegetables, 25,700 pounds of fruits, 6,000 bottles of various liquor, 20,000 bottles of beer, and 2,500 bottles of wine, 10 pounds of which you are guaranteed to bring home with you. Dining aboard Royal Viking Line's world-class vessels is a feast for the palate and the soul. You'll enjoy outstanding cuisine and wines with an international accent. The dining room's elegant ambiance and unparalleled service transforms every meal into a legendary experience. To pamper the palates of the 710 passengers, each ship has 70 waiters, 8 wine stewards, 4 head waiters, and a maitre d'. Each has trained at well-known establishments in Europe. Because of its fine dining reputation, Royal Viking Line became the first cruise line to be inducted into the prestigious Swiss and Austrian hotel associations. The line is also a member of some of the world's most prestigious food and wine societies. Confrérie de la Chaîne des Rôtisseurs, Les Toques Blanches Internationales, and the Master Chef Institute of America. The wine selection aboard is the toast of the cruise industry. The wine list contains over 100 premier international wines from France, California, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Portugal. An additional Cellar Master wine list offers more than a dozen wines of select vintage and appellation from France, Germany, and California. You will indeed find the wine selection is unsurpassed in variety, quality, and value. Delightful edibles are not confined to the Royal Viking dining room. When the ship is at sea, you can indulge in a mouth-watering luncheon buffet served with casual elegance next to the pool on Scandinavia deck. Each buffet is a visual feast, a culinary triumph. And as you savor the many delights for the palate, you can enjoy the fresh sea air. The ultimate feast of your cruise is the Norwegian Grand Buffet. What takes you an hour to admire and savor has taken the chefs 4 hours to set up and 4 days to plan and prepare. The Grand Buffet gives the chefs the opportunity to demonstrate their culinary skills, and its overall presentation is one in which they take great pride. No tour behind the scenes aboard this great ship would be complete without a visit to the facilities which prepares all of these delicious Epicurean delights, the galley. Every morning at 5, the freshly polished chrome and stainless steel walls and ceilings reflect the images of the chefs arriving to start their day. The chef de cuisine and his 35 chefs have been selected from Europe's most honored hotels and restaurants. Each is a culinary artist of the first order. For them, every meal is an opportunity to surprise and delight you. And only the finest ingredients are used in everything they make. The tile decks have been scrubbed down. Electric ranges and ovens are turned on. Griddles and grills are warmed up. Everyone is ready for the work that won't end until late that night. Meals are prepared simply and then presented in the most appealing manner. At dinner, the chefs have to prepare and serve 710 main courses between 8 and 9 p.m., which amounts to 1 entree every 5 seconds. On an average day, they will have prepared over 3,500 meals. Within the galley, there are 5 different pantries where all of the various foods served are prepared. The chefs in the cold pantry prepare the various salads, cocktails, fruit dishes, and even sandwiches that will be needed throughout the day. In the bakery, over 25 varieties of baked goods are prepared daily. Because everything baked is consumed that same day, no preservatives are used in any creation. Work begins here at 11 the night before. The bakers ready, mix, knead, roll, and bake over 150 loaves of various breads for the next day. In the morning, they busily prepare over 2,000 rolls, 1,400 assorted Danish pastries, 500 various muffins, 400 donuts, and 300 hamburger buns. During the day, the smell of freshly baked bread is replaced by the delicate, tempting aroma of cakes, pies, and melting chocolate. In the vegetable and soup pantry, the chefs employ their skills to cook the fresh vegetables needed to enhance your daily menus. As well, they carefully prepare the soups for lunch and dinner, from delicate vichyssoise to robust French onion. Who cleans up after the guests are served? At mealtimes, there are 28 dishwashers continuously pre-washing, sorting, and feeding a constant stream of china, glasses, and silver into the dishwashing machines. They will put through an average of 3,500 pieces an hour and wash about 35,000 dishes daily. As well, they scrub down and polish the galley before and after every meal. Like a carefully choreographed ballet, prepared food moves from the cooking areas to the constantly replenished food line. Then it begins. 70 waiters line up with their guests' requests in their hands. The main galley comes alive with chefs and waiters working together to fill the orders. There is no wasted motion and no wasted words. China plates and silver trays are carefully loaded with food selections. Then they are garnished for that final touch under the watchful eye of the chef de cuisine. Covered in silver, they are rushed into the dining room and presented to you. Bon appétit! After the main course, it's time for dessert. No cruise would be complete without a serving of Royal Viking Line's famous Baked Alaska. Another perfect day is drawing to a close. You've enjoyed an evening of spectacular entertainment, perhaps tempted Lady Luck in the casino, danced to a few tunes in the Lido bar, or you just relaxed in one of the lounges. When one of the crew comes up and wishes you a warm good night, you may want to pause in reflection about the day's activities and think about the dedicated crew, especially those who work around the clock and keep this great ship running smoothly behind the scenes. Gu Risa. Happy sailing.